Wow, that is quite a bit of damage. Hey there, Papa Hoop here with another episode of Modded ARK Survival Evolved on the Pugnacia Ragnarok server. So, you might notice that my griffin is a little bit different color. That's because this isn't the same griffin. So, since the last time I was able to upload a video... Oh, you're quite noisy. Let's take care of you. Here. Quiet down. So... yeah, this isn't the same griffin. We had some... we've been having some strange server things happening around here. Came on the other day, and my griffin was missing. Asked some other people. Their griffins were missing, so I don't know if it was a Pugnacia episode or, I don't know, rebooting the server. Something happened. It seemed like tamed griffins disappeared, so... not a big deal. Went and got another one. Actually got two now, so I have this one and another one. And today, right now, I'm actually down here in the south part of the map. This is a newly opened up part of the map that just came out, I don't know, a couple days ago with the new release. It's more of a desert feel. You know, as always, the Ragnarok team did just an excellent job on here. I came down here because I need sand. I had... in what I had wanted to get done today was to build a stable kind of near our existing base down the beach a little bit, and since I have a unicorn, I thought I'd put the unicorn in a stable, maybe tame up some of the other Pugnacia custom horses that they have, and maybe use it for some of our overflow dinos. So I had previously built a bunch of adobe structures, walls and foundations, and some stone, and just wanted to try some things. And when I logged on today, all my adobe and all my clay was missing. So not quite sure what's going on. I know after the last major update of ARK, when I rebooted the server, it came up and everything was gone. It's happened to us several times where the file size, it looks like it's just a fresh start file as our map file, our actual ARK file. And it's a quick fix. I just go back and I pull the last saved ARK file and I replace it and restart the server. But maybe that rollback, I thought I'd collected those mats a couple days ago and the rollback was only a couple hours. Not sure how those mats would have disappeared. So I don't know. I'm down here collecting sand. But I did want to look at this. I purposely came down to this location instead of further south where I usually go, because I want to look at some of the features here in the new map, or the new released portions of the map. And this was pretty interesting here. I mean, it's kind of hard to take the desert and do too much interesting features with it, because, I mean, it's a desert, right? It's just sand and cactus and rocks. But if you go down in here, they've kind of made like a little underground oasis, which I think is very unique. So we may come back here and build something down in here. Not sure exactly what, but very neat. The Ragnarok team continues to put out, new maps. I mean, I think the one thing that, and if I can find where we were when I started this episode, one of the things that I've always appreciated from the Ragnarok team is, like, for example, here, they're able to build in, some of these flat areas, not just in the desert, but if you go around the map on foot a lot, you'll notice that if you just clear away a couple trees and some rocks, you'll have a nice area to build a base, a nice flat area, and they did that here too. It doesn't look out of place. It doesn't look unnatural. I mean, like the island map really... It really lacked a lot of places to build entirely, but it looked really good. And then the center came out, and that had a lot of places to build, but I felt like a lot of those in the center map look unnatural. They don't look like they fit. They look like somebody purposely went in and said, okay, here's a big flat place, go build your base. On Ragnarok, they've done a great job at incorporating, both of those ideals. You know, make it look like it's natural, but also give you a place to build. And that's like perfect example. This just screams at me to build something. It's just nice and flat, great view. We've got resources around us. Somebody thought about this location, and there's so many of those on this map. So, well, why don't I go and continue to restock my sand and clay supplies, and then got a boss down here somewhere. That music just kicked in. I'll continue to gather supplies, and then I'll meet you back at the new location where we'll build the stable. See you there. Okay, well, I was able to grab or put together some clay. I used the chemistry bench, so it went pretty quick. So this is, you can see behind me, here's our existing base. And just down this beach a little bit is this nice flat area, pretty well protected. What I wanted to do was do like a stable here, and the stable's gonna, it's a build that I've done previously, very similar to this. We'll have some side entrances, and then we'll have a main entrance, and then maybe we'll even do, a dock over here into this water area. It's a pretty protected area, but we can make like a nice dock over here. And then, you know, we can even fence this in and make like a pasture if we wanted to do some ovis farming or breeding. And, you know, maybe even this spot up here, we could put a nice house at some point. So just to kind of build in some different, in some different styles. I'd really like to build with the some of the eco mods that we have. In fact, there is a new stable mod that we have that we're going to use a lot of those elements. And I have the table out here for that. So one of the things that can happen, just so you know, and it happened to me, I told you we were having some server issues, is that I couldn't get anything to pull to this bench earlier when I first logged on. And it was empty. So this is one of the things, this is where the missing inventory was. The bench was here, but the inventory was missing. I picked it up and replaced it, and it worked just fine. Same thing with my armor today. When I logged in, I could not fly, even though I had element, I had my tech armor on. As much double tapping as I did on the space bar, it didn't work. I even thought maybe they changed the binding for flying, or the jetpack on the tech armor. But no, I just had to remove it and replace it. So if you're ever having issues like that in ARK, you're not alone. And sometimes it's just simple as picking up a bench and replacing it, or taking their armor off and putting it back on, that sort of thing. So before we begin, I just want to remind you to make sure if you do like the video, please show your support and hit the like button. And if you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe. So I wanted to, like I said before, I built this before in stone and wood, something very similar. We'll probably, you know, do a couple different changes on it, but I thought I would try Adobe this time. So I was going to put together kind of a palette of different options here, what we would use for the build. And I haven't put in the interior foundations yet, because we might go with some wood. So I was just going to kind of piece together some options. We could even use, you know, some wood. If these are going to be stables, we could have wood on the inside along with the Adobe. We can do some things where maybe we turn the walls the opposite way. Oh, that didn't work. That was the correct way. Let's see, we would want them this way. Oh, they're S+, they don't have the wall, they don't have the wood markings on them. I was expecting to see the wood supports, but I forgot S+ doesn't have those like vanilla. Let's see, does the, how about the wood one? Let's try just the plain wood. Does that have it? I think it does. Let's flip that around. Yeah, so maybe we can use something like this. Now it's going to attach to the inside, which is not a bad thing. So yeah, let me mess around. I mean, this is kind of the texture I want. I'm going to incorporate some of the new Eco Stable mod in here. They have some good, you know, prefabricated stable pieces, like the actual stable where the horse would go. They've got some nice like arched entryways that look good with horses, you know, sticking their heads out, that sort of thing. So let me play around with a couple different styles and mock up one of the walls that I think we would put in here, and I'll come right back. Okay, so I've been playing around with a couple different styles here. I look back at some of my screenshots, and previously I had built this with just using this as a pointer here. Actually, here, where's our pike? You guys can kind of tell what I'm talking about. So I've kind of usually built with this type of layout, with stone on the bottom, with either front-facing or backwards-facing wood walls, and then done a lot of the trim with stone as well. And it looks good. And to me, and it's one of those architectural things. I mean, that's how they would have built a building. You know, that is something architecturally sound. You'd have a stone base, then you could build wood up on top of it. And it looks good, and it brings in some different textures and different styles. This is something that I've done more recently, and we can paint this as well. We can do different colors as well. So that looks okay, but I really wanted, since I've never built in Adobe, so I really wanted to start experimenting with Adobe. And I thought that we might go to this here, and along with that, we could do is incorporate, you know, if we're going to go with the same kind of template where the bottom matched the major structures, we'd go Adobe Foundation, Adobe Base Wall, probably wood, and then we can paint that. You know, I tried the, let's just try this here. Here, I'll put it down. Whoop, that wasn't right. Doesn't matter though, I can pick that up later. I tried this, and just not enough contrast. It just looks like the wall, a backwards wall. So I think if we were going to build up with Adobe, we would want it all Adobe. But I think incorporating that wood is a good idea. So I think we're either going to go, let's delete the options we don't want. So not going to go with that. Not sure. I want to build them all. Well, maybe we can build in elements of each one of them, but let's see on the inside. On the inside, though, I thought this looked the best here. Wood, and maybe we'll carry the wood out here, but wood, and then we could do like thatch in the stalls where the horses or animals would go. I didn't like, this was just too much Adobe on the inside, especially if we go with that wall. Maybe it looks better if we go with this wall. We'll have to test that out. But yeah, let me play with it a little bit more and get a little bit more built so I can see more of it with maybe some windows and some other pieces to see what looks best. Okay, welcome back. So went back and forth with the stone, and once I crafted up some of this Adobe, I really am liking this style, but it kind of got me thinking, wonder if we should just go build this in the new desert area. So I think this is the style I'm going to go with. Obviously, there's some components missing. We're going to put a roof on it, some other pillar elements, and some slopes. I'll have to see how it looks with the eco stable mod, but I'm really liking the way that this whole thing ties together. So I'm gonna go take a fly around the new area, see if there's an area similar to this that has some of the same elements that we could build with. You know, I really liked having this area up here where I could put a house that kind of made like a ranch house that made sense for the whole area. It is awfully close to our base, so you know, my goal on this server was to build bases in different biomes, and you know, kind of like fully embrace the location. And this build is just starting to look so scorched earth and so Adobe that this might be the right build to do down in that area. So let me go do that. I showed you this. Yeah, let me cut away here and I'll go look for an area. If not, we'll go ahead and build here. I mean, we're already pretty much established, but what we've done here so far is pretty easy to replicate somewhere else. So be right back. So this all looks pretty familiar, but we are in an entirely different part of the map. So I did end up finding a location for the stable. We are, let's see, we are at the farthest point south down here. It is in the new released map area. I searched around. Let's fly up here and take a look at where we ended up. I mean, there was so many areas around here. Actually, one of them was just over here, but I felt like this one made the most sense of, you know, where there would be an actual stable. It gives us access to water, and it's a little bit like the other location where we can maybe build a house or a ranch house up here and close it off. As you can see below, I've been making some progress. So let's talk about what we did. That was this was just one of the sides that I tilted up initially to kind of replicate what we had done near our other base. It was really easy to kind of put that back up. And then I started working on expanding what we're going to do. The goal is to, you know, be able to put, I don't know, maybe, let's see, we'll have 6, maybe 12 horses in here. So we've got the unicorn in here already. I'm combining the what is it, S Plus Adobe, a little bit of just normal S Plus wood, and then I'm using this Eco Stable mod for some of these elements, which I think tie in really nice. So we've got here. This is just 1/4 of it, so that we're going to replicate this in all 4 corners. Put up a roof. Each one of these stalls has one of these little gates here. Oh, that's a gate. So the stalls inside, I put in thatch as a bedding. There is a bedding from the mod. I'll show you that to you in a second. I like some of the features of it, but I think the foundations will be just fine. So yeah, we've got each one of these stalls is accessible from the outside here. I'll probably just leave this open so you can walk in here and then put a fence around this area. This is a steel roof from the Ecos mod, which I thought was really nice. Most everything here is damaged because I had a rock golem attack earlier, and it just started destroying everything. So I've got to go back through and repair a lot of these things. So you'll see that repair notification come up on most everything. I got a lot of these down here, but oh no, these can be repaired. So yeah, so there's a lot of damage here from that. That was my own fault. I actually went up to test the turrets. I went looking for something to drag down here and accidentally ran into a rock golem. So not the smartest move, and it was on me pretty quick, and it was doing tons of damage. So so yeah, Eco Stable mod. We've got the Adobe doors up there again, which is kind of wrapping around. Put these pillars in the corner. I've got the roof. Let's just make sure here. I've got my jetpack on, right? Yep. Okay. We've got another layer of roof up here, and I'll carry this up, and then we'll probably put another piece of roof up on top here as well. So really like the way this is looking. The colors are great. I haven't had to paint anything. I think I'm just going to leave the colors as is. I might paint that wood or experiment with some colors, but or maybe just maybe darken up this strip, which I think you can paint individually on the wood walls. But everything else I'm liking. Maybe we'll paint the inside too, because that kind of looks a little odd. We can paint that side of the wood as well, so it looks more, blends in more and doesn't look like an outer log cabin type of look. Inside, I was kind of playing around with different ideas on the stalls. This is this is one of my favorites. You know, it's got an entrance, it's got an area here. Oh, I can see I got missing foundations there as well. I've got to go ahead and put back in. I've got a couple of those. Oh, I put them in here. Oh, these are really cool. So these are decorative items from the Eco Stables mod, but they're also functional. They're not just standing here. I put all of my pre-made structures in here, and I put some just miscellaneous structures or materials in here as well. So there's a bunch of different types. There's tool stands and different types of equestrian type of I don't know what you call these, decorative items, but they do have some functionality. Most of them have inventories that you can store stuff in. So yeah, so this is one of my favorites. Let's see, I like, oh, this needs to be repaired. I don't like, this is a little closed off on this side for me, so I was exploring some different options. This was one other option. I think it's a little too open and it looks a little bit too much like the outside. It's got a little bit of what I like. I wanted something more with a border across the top like that. I thought that carried well through here. So I think this is the one I'm gonna go with though. This is meant to be connected to a bottom piece like this, but I put in this double door here and it looks good from the outside. I mean, functional wise, you open that, you've got this sticking down piece that's meant to kind of connect up, so it's not truly a functional piece, but you know, reality is this is going to be closed most of the time, and I just like this look. I like the way that it carries this top piece across, so it would be all the way across. So I think this is what we're going to go with. And I mean, it's functional for me to get through, but I mean, in reality, you wouldn't have a piece hanging down like that. There wasn't anything without this centerpiece that I could find. Maybe if I explore a little bit more, I can find it. But there wasn't a top piece like this without something hanging down from it that I could find. So, but I really like these doors. I like the way the handles match the handle over there. So this to me looked the best. It also had a great place, like an opening that was almost made for the torch. So it looks really good at night. So yeah, I'm working on this upper area here. I'm not entirely sure what this is going to be. You know, I don't know much about barns or stables. What I know that, you know, this is usually like hay storage. But you know, I don't want to, there are hay bales that we can put down, but then that's adding a lot of entities to our build and that will create lag. So I don't want to do that. So I thought we'd take a little break from building and maybe get a couple occupants for our stable. So one of the custom horses in Pugnacia is this Nightmare Pegasus. So I did find one actually. Well, I found a higher level one, but I forgot to put my Griffin on passive, and I was trying to break up a little bit of a fight it was getting into, and I got hit, and then all of a sudden the Griffin came in and killed everything. So we lost that one, but this one's a pretty good level. It's a 899, I believe. So I'm just gonna clean up some of this area a little bit. Don't need anybody getting in our way here. And I'll probably put this guy back on passive. So let's do that. Oh, there's some wolves. All right. Oh God, there's all kinds of stuff up here. Let's clean all this up. All right, I don't want any of you guys bothering me. All you guys just clear out. All we need is for one of them to just drop in on us. So, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna put this guy real quick on passive. Don't need any more mishaps from you. There we go. Okay. Uh-oh, do we have our gun? Oh, yeah, we do. Okay, I just didn't have it in my hotbar. Okay. Alrighty, where did you go up to? Oh, there you are. Okay, should be just one shot should do it. So, with any luck... Oh, just hold still now. Of course I missed the first one. You're supposed to hold still. There you go. Excellent. Just run on down here. Yep, this is the 899. Little insta-tame, perfect. All right. Wow, you got some nice beady red eyes. All right, let's get this guy. Oh, girl. Let's get this girl. Let's get this girl back to the stables. Okay, there's one other custom horse that I wanted to get, and I did check it out. It's the Hell Horse, and there's one up here by the red obelisk. So I thought we'd come down and get this one too. Now, let's see. Let's just clear this area. We got just some birds here. I think we're okay. Now, this is the one. There it is. You can see it hides itself in the ground. So I wonder, can we just shoot it like that? Or do we have to get it out and going first? Let's see what happens. Oh, one shot. Well, you that made that pretty easy. Oh, look at this guy. Spooky. Man, there's something wrong with your face, buddy. Should just be, yep, there we go. Should just be the regular kibble. All right, and can I just ride you too? Yes, I can. Let's get on there. So back here at the stables, I thought I'd take these out and just see, walk around with them a little bit and see what they do. Oh yeah, so that's the sea attack on the Nightmare Pegasus. Wow, that does a little bit of damage. Takes out trees. Let's see what it does up here. Well, that lasts for a while. So just keep following me. Let's try another one. Wow, that does quite a bit of damage. 6,000, that's without any levels. Wow, that's pretty good. Pretty loud. You can't do that in the air, though. I just noticed. You can't. I tried it when I was up in the air. Nothing was working, so that's pretty cool. Took this guy out pretty easy. Got probably some good levels for that. So I'm sure we can level that up and have a little fun. Good speed already. Oh, we gotta land here. There we go. Yeah, decent speed. Oh, we got some wolves coming in. And then let's see what this guy does. Not sure that this thing has any more than just the stuff that we've seen. Let's see here. Oh, pretty good damage. Wow, that's right off the bat too. Not bad at all. How about the kick? Kick's about the same. Nice work. So again, without any levels, so pretty powerful. Good, well, they're actually functional too. They're not just gonna sit around and look nice in our stable. So let's take a look at what we got done so far. As you can see, I've made a lot of progress here. Don't even know where to start. So I got a little bit more of the roof in. I went around and kind of got the structure in for all of the corners here, and then I really focused on getting this side done. This looks a little plain to me up here, so I extended the pillars internally all the way through. I think when it's all done, it'll look fine, but you know, it just looks a little plain up there. But everything else, I love the detail. I put in these pillars. Every so often, I left a little opening so you can walk the horses right into their stalls. I like the fact that I was able to keep this functional still, and still look good. Sometimes you do some things that don't necessarily work too well, but they look really good. So yeah, so that fits in there nicely. Here, let's take this guy in. Go ahead and fill up the stalls. Oh, is this guy too big? Ooh, he might be too big. Yeah, he stands a little tall, so he doesn't fit through there. Let's see if we can. We might have to just, might have to just carry him in. Had a little trouble. Oh, there we go. This time it worked. Oh yeah, see, I had a little trouble getting him on off my shoulder last time it did this. So the other feature this guy has is this berry thing. So, oh, he won't do it in here. Won't do it inside. Huh. Okay, well, he basically buries himself and he looks like a grave, and then you can have him pop back out. Kind of like what he did when we, or exactly what he did when we were trying to tame him. And I did notice when I did the dino carry thing that it exposed both at the same time. So I cleared it last time just by burying him, have him come out, but I guess he can't do that indoors. Wow, you're smoky. May want to have a look at that. Okay, well, we'll fiddle around with him later. It gives like an eerie dust throughout the place, so you might have to stay in a separate stable. So let's look at what else I did in here. I continued on this loft area, and actually ended up putting the power over there. Whoops, that's going up. And so I'll probably just keep this open. You know, this is where you would have your hay bale storage for feed. I'll keep this up here for now, just for the power that we need temporarily. I may move it to a more central location. I will have to, because remember this roof is from the Eco Stables mod, not from S+. So those top roof pieces won't stay freestanding. I need that roof support there. So maybe I can tuck the power unit up in there when we're all done and we have this all buttoned up. But I think what I'll want to do is paint that, probably. Make it a little darker to match this roof. So we'll come back and do that. That'll look fine. We don't need to see the up in the roof. We're not using that area. Went through and changed out all the doors, make them consistent. I think that looks really good. Something I didn't show before. I had this in between the stalls. And this was one of those things that I like to do. This would be realistic. You know, you wouldn't want the horses, you know, biting into each other, so at least they can see through it, but you've got like a metal gate that would keep the horses apart from each other. So we did that. We saw this before, and you know, I added more of these posts and railings all the way around. On this corner, and I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to keep this. I think I will. It just doesn't line up the greatest. It's a little bit, let's see, where was it? Actually, it looks okay now. Yeah, the slope is a little different, as you can see from this corner piece. And this is just a 90-degree corner piece to where it transitions here. It looks better. I had to fiddle with it, but you can see like the overlap doesn't fit exactly right. And I don't know if that's the mod or if just the way that this thing is snapping up here. But it looks pretty good. I'll have to see how this whole thing looks with both sides done. I mean, this is kind of a little bit of an odd gap. But maybe we'll put a smaller roof on top of this just to kind of match the flow there. So, but yeah, really like the progress. I'm not going to get to finish it today. Just running out of recording time, and it's like most of my projects, it's turning into a bigger project than I first thought it would be. I thought it would be just easy, slap it together and be ready to go. But got the whole other side to do, and we've got some obviously a lot of detail to do. There's some things I started playing with, these pathways. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to use them, but they're kind of like half foundations, and then you can add these railings to them. So, and there's some 90-degree turns and some other things that we can play with. So I'm not exactly sure what I would use these for. If we replicate what we did on the other side, this is going to be in the way of the opening for where we would, you know, bring a horse into directly. So not sure, probably not going to stay there, but I thought we could use that somewhere, and I wanted to take a look at it. But yeah, I think that's about it that I have for progress since the last time we checked in. Like I said, I'm out of time today, so we'll wrap this up, probably do a lot of it between episodes, and we'll come back and take a look. So if you did like today's episode, please do me a favor and leave a like. It helps me out as I try to grow my channel. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please do so and tell your friends. See you next time.